Alright, so let me just start from the beginning, because this kind of thing never happens just out of nowhere. There's always a lead up to it, even if you don't realize it at the time. This is one of those December days where you wake up already tired, not exhausted, just flat. Like your energy bar is sitting at maybe 40% and hasn't moved all day. Work is one of those days where nothing terrible happened, but nothing good happened either. Just emails, messages, small problems that aren't really problems, and times are moving way slower than it should. You know that feeling when you keep checking the clock and it feels like it's broken? Like there's no way only 10 minutes pass? That was the whole day. By the time I finally got home, I wasn't even in a bad mood. I was just done. Brain off, body tired. The kind of tired where you don't want to think about anything serious. You just want to exist for a bit. As soon as I walked in, the house already felt different because it was close to Christmas. Lights on, tree up, decorations everywhere. Not over the top, you would notice it right away. The air even smells different during Christmas. I don't know how to explain it. It's not food exactly, it's just December. I dropped my stuff, kicked my shoes off, and I'm standing there for a second thinking, alright, I'm home. Nothing else to do today. That feeling alone already makes you feel relaxed a little bit. I wasn't even hungry. That's the most important part. But it didn't start because I was starving. It started because I was tired and bored and comfortable, which honestly is way more dangerous. I head towards the kitchen to grab some water. Literally just water. No plan, no thoughts about food, just water. Then I see the counter. There's stuff out. Christmas stuff. Plates that aren't normally there. Snacks that only show up during this time of the year. Things people leave out because everyone's gonna want some. I don't stop right away. I just glance at it while filling my glass. But then my eyes go back to it for a second and I stand there for a second longer than I needed to. That's when the thoughts start. Not loud thoughts, not dramatic, just calm, convincing thoughts. Alright, you can have a little something. I actually argued with myself for a second. In my head, I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'll eat later. And then immediately another thought comes in like, yeah, but later is till today. And it's Christmas time, relax. So I grabbed something small. I won't even get specific because that doesn't matter. The point is, it felt harmless. Like something that wouldn't even count. I take a bite and yeah, it tastes good. Of course it does. Christmas food always tastes better. I don't know why, but it does. Maybe it's because you don't have all the time. Maybe it's because you're already relaxed. Who knows? I stand there eating it, still not sitting down. While I'm chewing, I already know what's coming next. I've been here before. Everyone has. That moment where you think, okay, that was fine. And then immediately after that, I could have had one more. So I do. And this time, I don't really even think about it. I just grab it and eat it. No pause, no debate, just automatic. Now I'm leaning on the counter. My water's still there, half full. I take a sip, eat another bite, and now it's starting to feel normal. Like this is what I'm doing. And this is where it starts to get really sneaky. Because nothing feels wrong yet. You don't feel full, you don't feel guilty, you're just there. I started looking around the kitchen while I ate. The lights are warm, there's music playing quietly from another room. Someone's talking somewhere else in the house. Everything feels calm, and my brain's like, yeah, this is fine. At some point, I move from standing to sitting. I don't even remember deciding to do it. I just end up sitting. And that's why I know deep down that I'm probably not stopping anytime soon. Because sitting means comfort. Sitting means time. I grab my phone, start scrolling. Nothing important. I'm eating without really even paying attention now. I take a bite, scroll a little, take another bite, scroll again. And it's funny because half my brain is enjoying it and the other half is watching it like a movie. Like, wow, you're still going. But I don't stop because stopping would require effort and I don't have any of that right now. I tell myself, alright, this is the last one. Then I say it again. And again. It doesn't feel like I'm lying to myself. It feels more like delaying the truth. Time get weird. I honestly couldn't tell you how long I'm sitting there. 10 minutes? 20? Longer? No idea. The clock doesn't matter anymore. Eventually, I lean back a little. That's when I notice it. That feeling in your stomach where you're not in pain. You just definitely passed where you should have stopped. And I just laugh. Not a big laugh. Just a quiet like, yeah, okay. I sit there for a bit longer. Just letting it sink in. Letting everything slow down now again. I look around the room. Christmas lights blinking. Decorations everywhere. It hits me how quiet and normal the moment is. Nothing dramatic. No chaos. Just me sitting there. Full, tired, and comfortable. And honestly, it doesn't feel bad. It just feels human. I get up eventually and walk into the kitchen. I look at what's left and shake my head a little. Not angry, just amused. I clean up a bit. Not perfectly, just enough. Wash my hands, dry them on my shirt because I don't feel like grabbing a towel. Then I head back to the couch and sit again. As I'm sitting on the couch again, and like I said, my thoughts start to slow down. Everything from work, everything from the day, just kind of fades into the background. It's quiet now. Not completely silent, but quiet enough to make you notice the small things. The little hum from the fridge, the soft blinking of the Christmas tree lights, the occasional laugh from my little brother somewhere down the hall. And I start thinking how weird it is that the small moments can feel so heavy sometimes. Like you don't notice when it's happening, but then you pause for a second and suddenly it's kind of magical. Just normal life. But that's the way it all lines up for a moment. You notice it, and I laugh at myself because that's exactly what I'm doing. Noticing it in a way that makes me feel like some kind of philosopher, when really, I'm just a tired dude on a couch with a messy kitchen behind him. I still remember other nights like this. Not Christmas necessarily, but those nights where you come home, you're tired, and you kind of snack your way through things. Maybe it's cereal, maybe it's chocolate bars, maybe it's leftover chips. Whatever it is, it's that same exact feeling. Quiet, slightly guilty, slightly happy, just a little chaotic. And it always seems better at night, doesn't it? Like somehow the darkness gives permission to do a little extra, to indulge a little more, just to exist without worrying. I lean back into the couch and my legs are stretched out. I realize my hands are still sticky from earlier, even though I just cleaned them. Little frostings cling to my fingers, crumbs are on my shirt, and I'm just letting it all be. I'm not stressing, I'm not thinking about cleaning it perfectly, because for some reason at this moment, none of that matters. None of it. I start thinking about my family again. My sister, my little brother, my parents. How everyone has these little quirks and habits that make the holidays feel the way they do. How my dad always tries to hang too many lights on the tree and ends up tangled. How my mom hums while she wraps presents. And I just laugh quietly, thinking about how those small things don't make sense logically, but they make sense emotionally. They make the holidays feel real. Then I drift back to the snacks. I can't help it. It's like my brain and stomach have a secret conversation. I start thinking, okay, tomorrow I'll eat less sugar. But then I smile to myself because deep down, I know tomorrow will probably be the same story. Maybe with different food, maybe with self-control at first, but eventually the same. Because that's what these nights are about. They're not about being perfect, they're about being good in the moment, even if it's messy. I take a slow sip of water, let it sit in my stomach for a bit. And then I start thinking about how rare these moments are. Not the snacks exactly, but the stillness, the calm, the sense that everything's fine even when nothing's perfect. That's the feeling you chase after all these years, isn't it? That feeling where life is chaotic and messy, but you don't care for a few minutes, and it's okay. Then I remember something funny. When I first grabbed the snacks, I thought I'd just take one small thing. And now here I am, completely full, probably ate way more than I needed, and still thinking, maybe I could have one more. And that's exactly how it goes. You tell yourself one thing, and the night slowly convinces you of another. It's almost like the night itself is a friend whispering, go on, just a little more, it's fine. I start laughing quietly to myself because it's ridiculous. But it's also very human, like this exact same scenario probably happens in hundreds of homes right now, all around the world. Different foods, same feeling. That's kind of comforting when you think about it. You're not alone. Everyone has those small, silly moments that make them feel bigger in memory than they did at the time. And I lie back a little further on my couch, looking at the ceiling, thinking about how the lights on the trees blink and shine. They're quiet, subtle, but somehow comforting. They're steady, but at the same time a little playful. And I realize even though I'm tired, a little overstuffed, and my kitchen is messy, everything feels calm, almost perfect in its imperfection. I start letting my thoughts wander. Not really thinking about anything in particular, just observing. I think about the next day, about opening presents, maybe playing a little game with my brother, watching something silly with my little sister, my parents joking, and I smile because those little things are what Christmas is made of. Not the big plans, not the perfect decorations, just those small, tiny, quiet, funny moments. I sit there longer, letting it all sink in, then my mind drifts even further. I start remembering how other Christmases when I was younger, how small I was, how simpler everything felt, how the anticipation of Christmas morning was the best feeling in the world, even if nothing went exactly right. And I started laughing softly because some things never change. Some things stay the exact same, just in a different way. And then I think about the snacks again, but not in a guilty way. I think about how they made me slow down. How they gave me something to do while the whole world outside is moving too fast. How eating something so small, letting myself enjoy, is part of what makes the holidays feel so good. And I think about how often we forget to do that during the rest of the year. At some point, I'm just lying there, not scrolling anymore, not really thinking, just existing, feeling calm, feeling heavy, feeling full, but feeling okay. And I realize that's exactly what the holidays are for. Not perfections, not big accomplishments, not even fun necessarily, just this. Just being still for a moment and letting life feel okay. As I'm lying there, I smile quietly, thinking, yeah, this is exactly how it's supposed to feel. And I know I'll remember this night for a long time, not because it was perfect, but because it was exciting. It felt real, human, comfortable, relaxed, messy a little bit, but in a good way. Eventually, I get up slowly, stretch a little, move to get ready for bed. And as I walk past the kitchen one more time, I glance at the snacks, smile quietly to myself, and walk away. Not stressed, not guilty, just done, content. And that's the story. Nothing dramatic, nothing extraordinary, just one of those nights where everything aligns. The lights, the quiet, the snacks, the small family chaos, and your own thoughts. All of it combined into a small moment that feels like Christmas. Because that's what the nights are for, right? Not to do everything right, not to eat perfectly, not to be productive, just to exist. And for a couple hours, to feel like everything is okay.